And for the record, no, America is not on your side. America has been eating you up in the comments. And what a weird thing to say. It's giving JP Jr. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're gonna talk about it. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Today we are reviewing Love is Blind Season 6, Episodes 1 and 2, okay? Let me start off by telling y'all this. Please, no spoilers in the comments, okay? I have only, at this point, seen Episodes 1 and 2, and I want to do my reviews in full delusion of what's going to happen in Episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6. So please, again, no spoilers in the comments, okay? I done had to block some people over on the Bachelor side because they were showing it in the comments. Please don't make me have to do that to my Love is Blind people. Don't do that, okay? Next, some housekeeping. I know that a lot of you are waiting for my Love is Blind Sweden review. I don't know if that's happening, okay? In all honesty, I am only on episode 4, episode 5. The season is over. The reunion done happened. So just to keep it real, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to give that to you guys. If I do, you probably won't get it for like 2 weeks. Okay, just to break it down, okay, the way that you could watch a show while you're cooking, while you're doing something in the background, that's not how content creators are able to watch a show. While we're watching the show, we're taking notes, okay? We're screen recording to put clips in the videos. After that, we gotta record the video. After that, we gotta edit the video. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. And like I said, I'm only on episode 4. So I think what I'll do is I'll do a community post in maybe like a week or two, see if you guys still want it. If you don't, I totally get it. Honestly, it'll be a little bit easier for me if you don't want it. But if you do, I'm gonna try my best to get that to you guys. So let me know in the comments and make sure you look out for that community post. Okay, Love is Blind, episodes 1 and 2, season 6. Now, if you saw my cast reveal video, you saw the title. It says that my hopes were very high for this cast. Let me tell you, all of those hopes were lost within the first minute of this season, okay, where they showed the previews. All hopes were lost. And after episode 2, baby, my hopes still are not that high. So let's get into episode 1. So you know Nick and Vanessa, they come out, they greet everyone, they give us the rundown of the show. The weddings will be in 4 weeks. So we see very early in this episode, they point out a couple of people. They point out Jessica. We learn that she has a 10-year-old daughter, and she says that she will not be leading with the fact that she has a child while she's in the pods. She says that she wants to have more of a conversation before she brings that up. She wants the person to get to know her. She wants to let them know at the right time. And I'm like, I'm interested to see what's the right time going to be for her, okay? Because it better not be on the honeymoon. I honestly think that that is something that should come up on the very first date, in my opinion, okay? Let's not waste each other's time. To the people who are dating and who have children, when do you normally bring up the fact that you have children? Do you bring it up in the texting stage, on the phone? Do you wait till y'all meet up in person on the first date? Let me know. I'm curious as to what y'all do, okay? And then they also bring up Trevor, and in multiple scenes, we see Trevor refer to himself as like a big guy, a masculine guy. And I'm like, sir, you not that big, okay? But I guess to some people, he might be considered big, but he does say that he wants people to get to know him for who he is on the inside, and he wants people to know that he's just not some meathead. So we see Jessica on her first date with Jimmy. Remember Jimmy with the pants from my last video? Yeah, Jimmy with the pants. So they're vibing, they're laughing, they're connecting. And I'm like, okay, is she gonna tell him on this date? But as we see, she does not, okay? But then we see that she has this date with Matthew. Okay, Matthew off the bat to me was a complete weirdo. Complete weirdo. The way that he goes about these dates, very strange. He has a list of questions, and in a natural conversation, when you're getting to know someone, right? You ask someone a question, they answer it, and then usually they ask you the question back. Hey, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Vanilla. Vanilla's my favorite flavor. What's your favorite flavor? Right? Isn't that how that goes? But when Jessica asked him his question back, he said, oh, I was only planning on asking the questions, not you actually asking them back. Casting, who brought this? Who picked this one? Who picked
this one? 'Cause what?
And what's worse is that in that scene, he got up and left. Now, I was hoping that it was just editing. But when we see him on dates with other women and he asks them a question and they're answering his question, he also gets up and leaves, okay? And I'm like, whoa, This guy is worse than JP. This guy is worse than JP. Now, coincidentally, while I was watching this particular episode, I was scrolling through the Love is Blind IG page, and I actually saw Matthew in the comments because he was getting dragged. And he said, and I'm going to post the screenshot, that he never walked out on anyone while they were answering a question. He said that this was all editing. That's not what happened. So I feel like last season, remember last season where people were dragging production and talking about editing and this, that, and the third? I feel like this might be another one of them seasons where the cast is going to be lighting production up and calling them out. So definitely make sure that your notifications are on, okay? Because I'm going to be doing all of those behind the scenes tea videos as well for this season, okay? But at the same time, even if that was editing, Matthew, you were still very strange in the dates, okay? And at this point in the episode, I was praying that he connected with nobody. Nobody, because no one should be subjected to teaching a grown person on how to express their emotions. I'm tired of these people coming on this show wanting to learn how to express their emotions. Go sit in someone's chair, get that figured out before you come on this show or before you enter the dating world, wasting someone's time. Even on Love is Blind Sweden, what's that guy's name? I can't even remember his name. I can't remember. Oh, child, I can't remember his name. Same thing.
I can't tell you that I love you, even if that's the way I feel.
Go home. No one has time to teach you how to express your emotions. Like, no, sorry. Next. So back to this show. Matthew actually says in the next scene that he has been seeing a therapist for about 4 to 5 months, okay? And this is said on his date with AD. Now, AD, that's my girl. She is my favorite. I love her and I want the best for her. But on Matthew's date with AD, this is the most that he has spoken. And they both leave this date wanting to see more of each other. And I'm like, no, not my sister. I don't want her with this guy. I just don't. I just don't. So next we see AD and she's on a date with Clay. Now remember, Clay is the one, if you saw my cast reveal video, Clay is the one who said that he will tell you if you are smelling funky on a date. And that he has a big ego. Yeah, that's Clay. He told on himself, all right? So we see Clay and AD, they're vibing, they're laughing, and Clay says something very interesting on this date. He said that he was nervous for this process and his ability to attract someone if they're not able to see him, if he's not able to use his looks. And I'm like, oh, okay, Clay, so what you're saying is you're an F-boy and you know that you don't have much to offer other than being good looking, okay? Other than being good looking or other than being able to, you know, put it down in the bedroom, now that you have to connect on just personality, you don't know how you're gonna connect. Yeah, red flag, baby. Because what else you got other than that D and your cute face? Okay. So anyways, now we're back at the quarters and this season, everyone is exchanging notes and saying who their top picks are. Now I'm still torn on whether exchanging notes is a good idea or not. And later on in this episode, AD does mention that the vibe in the quarters goes from everyone chatting about their dates and their top picks to quickly progressing into people being more secretive on who they're attracted to and who their top picks are. And it's so funny because in the quarters, when the ladies learned that AD connected with Matthew, everyone is like, Matt? You connected with him? Because so many of the women went on dates with him and they were all like, no, it's a chop. He's a no. Same thing with Uche last season, how the majority of the ladies were like, ew, they can't stand him. And Aaliyah was the only one who like kind of gave him a chance. Yeah, it's giving the same thing. Next, we see a little clip of production making sure that we, the viewers, see that the contestants are being fed because, you know, they got a couple of pending lawsuits and stuff. So they want to make sure that we know that these people are eating food and they're not just being fed alcohol, okay? Now, am I a psychic or am I not a psychic? If you saw my cast reveal video, I said that these women are not coming to play. They're not dating for potential. You need to come fully potentied. Did y'all see that? So you can only imagine how I screamed when Brittany said the same exact thing.
I'm done with potential.
I'm done with potential. I need it now. Like we're at the age where the potential should be there.
A man should be fully potential.
I told y'all these women did not come to play this season. It had me cracking up when she said that. So we see more dates. We see AD and Clay. They're getting closer. They're getting flirty. You see how Clay's toes was all curled up on that mat? Yeah. Clay flirt with her so that she'll forget all about Matt, but also Clay gives major player vibes. And unfortunately, while she's talking to Clay, AD is still feeling Matthew. And she says that she's also feeling a bit protective of him. And I think it's because she knows that most of the ladies in the house don't like Matthew. So she wants to be nice to him. She wants to be different than the other ladies, and baby, it's going to backfire. But we'll get to that. So we see Jessica. She's growing closer to Jimmy, and she still has not told him that she has a daughter. I think that by now, she should have brought it up. Because if we went in on people last season for lying by omission, okay, Uche, Izzy, if we went in on the guys, I gotta go in on her too, because I'm sure that at this point, they've probably discussed family or at least day-to-day life, right? And if her daughter has not come up in those conversations, that means that she's purposely left that part out. And I don't think that that's fair to Jimmy. I think that in this situation, she should be upfront and let him decide if this is the type of relationship that he wants to enter into. And more importantly, I feel like she should want to know if she's investing her time into someone who might not accept her child, who is the most important person in her life. Like, why waste each other's time? You get what I'm saying? But right after I typed all of that, in the next scene, she finally does tell him. And as she's gearing up to tell Jimmy, before she tells him, he's getting nervous. He's like, it sounds like you're keeping a secret. She says, no, it's not a secret. A secret is usually something negative. This isn't negative. And I'm like, girl, it might be negative to him. Which is why you waited to tell him, like, let's not play these games. And I'm not saying that having a child is a negative thing, obviously. But what I'm saying is, for someone who's dating and they don't have children of their own, maybe they don't want to date someone with children. Maybe they don't want children at all, right? And I've heard this sentiment from both men and women. And when she tells him, he does not look happy. And he asks her, why didn't you tell me earlier? She says, well, because it didn't really come up. And I know that in order to have certain conversations, I'm going to have to let you know that I have a kid. So what the hell have y'all been discussing this entire time? Like, what have y'all been talking about? Your favorite color, favorite food, but Jimmy's very understanding. He says that he gets why she didn't tell him and that it's not a deal breaker for him, okay? He also says that he wants to know more about her daughter, Autumn. And I feel like he's trying to be a good sport. He's on TV. He does not want to come off as an a-hole, okay? And he's saying the right things, but he looks very uncomfortable. But he doesn't want to pull a Matt and just get up and leave in the middle of the conversation. So we'll see if he's genuinely with it or not, okay? Right after that, we see him on his date with Chelsea, who he's also made a connection with. And it's going well until she says that she didn't go to college. And when she says that, you can literally see him say, oh boy. He's like, what the?
I didn't go to school. I have done trade school after trade school. I'm a yoga instructor.
Clearly that's important to him as well. It clearly bothers him. But what does he do? He says, oh, that's no problem. I'm sure that you were number one in your trade school. And then she tells him that she was also divorced and she was married for 5 years at 18 years old. And Jimmy is clearly stressed the hell out, okay? Jimmy has had a lot thrown on him today, and I get that it's a lot for him to process. His top 2 picks have just told him something that he's not super excited about, and he needs time to think about it. I get it. I do think that he handled both situations as well as he could. He tried to be as respectful as he could with both Chelsea and Jessica, but Chelsea, she doesn't really love the way that he handled her revealing that she was divorced, okay? So she leaves in tears. She's very upset about their conversation. Next, we see Chelsea on her date with Trevor, and he takes it a lot better, okay? He says he doesn't understand guys who think that at their age, their wife is someone who's like never been kissed, never been touched. It would be more of a red flag to him if at this age, someone has never been in a serious relationship, never been married or close to married. And I get that as well. Like, how old are you? You've never been in a serious relationship? Your longest relationship has only been 6 months? Like, why? Why? You know? Trevor definitely won some points with me with that response. He really did, because I'm like, okay, he's mature. Next, we see Clay. He's on another date with AD. He says that he loves to emulate his dad. He's a smooth guy. I could just imagine Clay's daddy. His daddy probably fine. Okay, moving on. So Clay says that usually he uses his smoothness. Girl, my dog is down here. Girl, you can't, yo, big old booty, you moving my light, sis. Thank you. Thank you, boo. Bye. So Clay does reveal to AD that usually he uses his smoothness, his looks, and his money as a security blanket while he's dating, okay? And he says that he could always get a lot of women. That's never been a problem, but he's never been chosen by the women he wants. Now, we're going to come back to that later in this review, okay? And he also says that it's validating for him to know that AD likes him without any of those things, without seeing him in person, right? Then he says that his biggest fear is them falling in love and then them meeting in person and him not being happy with or attracted to her, okay? Why do y'all come on this show? Why do y'all come on this show? Like I said before, attraction is very important. If you know that you are not ready to fall in love with someone sight and unseen, and if you know that attraction and looks is very important to you, that is okay. That's okay. You're human. Don't bring your ass on a show called Love is Blind. Why y'all keep coming on this show? He says, I get that the show is called Love is Blind, but I want to be attracted to my wife. And AD is like, is there a specific look that you're going for? And he's like,
Well, you know, I like lips, I like butt.
have y'all seen AD? AD is stacked, okay? I know you've seen it because I've seen it. I'll be looking at AD like, damn, sis, like AD is stacked, okay? But he tells AD on this date, I need to know how you look despite the connection, despite how I feel. I need to know how you look before I propose, okay? And AD says, that's cool. I understand that, but I'm not going to sell my physical in an experiment that is supposed to be about everything but the physical. So she says, okay, I respect it. I respect your stance. This is my stance, period, okay? Am I surprised in Clay? No. If you watch my cast reveal video, Clay was the one person that I said major red flags. From everything that he's said thus far, he's all about the physical. He's all about the physical, okay? Clay, go home. All right, next we see AD. She's on another date with Matt. He's telling her that he feels so connected to her. It feels different with her. The only outcome for him here is either leaving with her or no one, right? He says that he wants to call his mom and tell his mom about AD. And of course, AD is really happy because she feels validated by his words, that Matt is so sure about her on a deeper level, a complete 180 from the date that she just had with Clay, right? Who's all about the physical. So Matt asks her what her dad thinks about her doing this experiment. And she says, well, he's dead, so I don't think he's thinking much. That made me laugh out loud. I was like, she has a really dark sense of humor, but it made me laugh. But she also says that they weren't really close. So, you know, it is what it is, okay? Then we see her ask Matt how he feels about race. And Matt says that it really doesn't matter to him. He's like, isn't that the point of being on this show called Love is Blind? And of course, AD is sold. She wants to run off into the sunset with him. And I'm like, everything Matt is saying sounds so good right now. But what I can't get over is who he was in the beginning of this episode. The person who he is displaying to AD on these particular dates is completely different than the person that we saw in the beginning of the episode. Unless he has some type of personality thing going on, it's strange. And we gonna talk about him a bit more, okay? And I get that AD is excited, especially as a Black woman on these shows. Race is always a thing, whether you're a Black woman and you're trying to date other Black men or you're trying to date non-Black men, it's always gonna be a thing as a Black woman on these shows. We see how Black women are done on these shows all the time, okay? And I wish that when Clay said that the women that he wants don't pick him, I wish that AD asked him, what do those women look like? Describe those women for me, okay? I wish that she asked him that to get some clarity on what his preference is, honestly. But I do love that AD is open to dating all races. Even though I don't like Matt at all, I'm happy that she is taking a may the best man win approach no matter the race. May the man who treats me with the most respect, with the most love, with the most care, that's who it's gonna be, period, okay? Love that for AD. Now, is she gonna stick to her guns? I don't know. But I'm happy that she is taking the approach of loving who loves her and that what he looks like and his color is not the number one thing on her checklist, period. If you got a problem with that, oh well. Next, we see AD. She goes back to the quarters and she's chatting with Amber, okay? And she learns that Matt basically told Amber the same shit that he was telling her. Oh, let's call our parents. Let's leave now. So she's pissed, right? And I feel so bad for AD because she picked two F-boys. Not Matt trying to be a player. I beg your motherfucking pardon. Matt, you trying to be a player? Really? Child, so now we're on episode 2, okay? And as this episode opens up, we see Jeremy and he's on his date with Laura, but he mistakenly calls her Sarah. And then he lies about it and he says, oh no, I knew who you were. I did that on purpose. I'm just playing with you. And I'm like, yikes. Because even when she says, oh, so I was your second guest, he's like, oh, stop it. Oh, ain't no, oh, stop it. Yeah, you guessed wrong. Don't gaslight her. Lying ass. Next. Anyways, so they bond on being very clean people, neat freaks. I'm like, okay, that's really cute. But she's still not happy that he calls her the wrong name. Because when she goes back to the quarters, she's like, oh, I think that maybe he really was hoping that it was Sarah and not me. And I'm like, yeah, girl, stick with that because that's really who he wants, okay? And next we see him on a date with Sarah and they're actually discussing the future and them buying a home. And he said he has a 4-bedroom house that he's renting, but he's only renting because he recently sold his home and he wants to actually pick out a home with his wife. He wants them to do that together. And he's clearly more serious about Sarah than he is Laura, but he wants to keep Laura, on the back burner just in case things don't work out with Sarah, okay? Next we see Amy and Johnny. So they've been dating, they've been feeling each other for some time, and now they're having deeper conversations. They're speaking about family, and Amy brings up her brother, and she says that her brother is her everything. He is on the autism spectrum, he has ADHD, and if something happened to her dad, who is her brother's legal guardian, she is next in line to become his legal guardian. So it's important to her that her husband is aware of that and okay with the possibility of him having to come and live with them because she knows that she might eventually have to be his sole caretaker. Johnny is very supportive of this. He's understanding, and he says that he would feel the same way if it was his brother. And he's really happy that she shared that with him, okay? Next we see AD. She's still hot. She's still upset that Matt has been pretty much saying the same thing to her that he said to Amber. And she says that she's here for something real, and she's seeing that a lot of these men are not. They're here to play games. Like I said before, I love AD. That's my girl. Period. Okay. And I hope that she sticks with her guns and follows her instincts. Now, I know a lot of y'all, if y'all are watching and y'all have already seen episodes 1 to 6, am I in Delulu? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Let's keep going. But at this point, I'm saying, look, both Matt and Clay are a hell no. Hell no. I want AD to leave with nobody because these two, her two options, her two top picks, is giving hell no, okay? So we see her confront Matt about everything that he said to Amber, and Matt is like, oh, what Amber is saying, that's not true. The things that I said to you were way deeper than the things that I said to her. And to me, it sounded pretty similar. The things that you said to both of them sounded pretty similar. It's not like AD went in the quarters and was speaking about her date with Matt, and then Amber's like, oh, he said the same thing to me too. No, Amber started speaking about her date with Matt on her own. And it just happened to be the same exact thing that Matt was saying to AD. Okay, so I don't think that Amber had any ill intentions. I don't think that either of these women had ill intentions toward each other. And I really love the camaraderie amongst the women this season. They're sharing notes. They're like, look, this is what he told me. Oh, that's what he told you, sis? Well, this is what he told me. I like it. I do like it for this season. What was that season with Irina and Micah? It's not giving Mean Girl. It's giving the women are actually looking out for each other. And I love that. I do. But what is Matt able to do in this conversation? He's able to win AD over. Okay. He said that he's not lying. He's like, look, we're on a show. Everything's being recorded. So of course I'm not lying. Let me tell you something. Matt is scary. Matt is scary, and I'm going to tell you why. Because he went from super weird and awkward in the first couple of minutes of this show to super confident, super calculated, super manipulative. Matt creeps me out. Matt creeps me out, okay? Because he knows what the F he's doing. He does. He knows what the F he's doing, okay? And he tells AD, I'm going to decide tomorrow, but if I had to decide today, it would be you. So why can't you just decide today? Like, why are you playing... I don't like
Matt, okay?
Next, we see a scene where Clay is apologizing. Now, I'm going to put this clip in the video because I feel like this scene, the audio for this scene, was recorded in post. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we never see his mouth moving. We see him, he's walking around, he's sweeping, cleaning up, whatever. And we hear his voice, but we don't see his mouth moving. We don't see it, okay? That's definitely sus to me. Past contestants of the show have already aired out production on how they put things in post to create the story, make things seem like it's what it's not, all of that, okay? So let's just keep that in mind. So AD tells Clay about her connection with Matt and all that's transpired with him. And when she says Matthew, Clay is like, Matthew? Who the hell is Matthew? He's like, he didn't even know who the hell Matthew was in the beginning. He was like, who the hell is Matthew? And then he says, oh, Matthew, you're going to regret picking him. And I'm like, yeah, girl. Clay does have a point there, but she's gonna regret if she picks you too, okay? Because you ain't great either, twinkle toes, okay? And now Clay is flipping out because he's like, oh, do you even really like me like that? It's not seeming like that. Sir, did you forget that you just told her on the last date that it doesn't even matter how strong your connection is, you're not proposing unless you know for sure that you're attracted to her? So do you even really like her like that? Do you even really like her like that? This whole scene, I was wishing that AD could phone a friend and call me up so that I could remind her about their past conversation. Because what we not gonna let you do, Clay, is flip this shit to where now AD is feeling like she has to prove herself to you. Now she has to jump through hoops to prove that she really cares about you. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay? No, ma'am. But AD did say that she has been the type to when she sees a man and he has red flags, what does she do? She paints her nails red, okay? And that she has been Captain Save-A-Ho in the past. So I'm going to give AD some grace because clearly she still has some work to do. But she leaves this date with Clay crying and confused. And I hate that for her because now she feels like she's in the wrong and she has to prove herself to Clay. Baby, you did nothing wrong. And again, we see when the dynamic of this show changes from finding love to winning the show, winning the girl, winning the guy. It's no longer about the connection. It's no longer about love. It's just about making it to the honeymoon at this point. Because I don't even think that Clay wants AD. He just wants to beat Matt. So next we see AD, she goes back to the quarters, she talks with Amber about what happened, and she lets her know that Matt told her that he wanted to leave the pods with her. And Amber is like, excuse me? That's what he said? AD is like, yeah, girl, that's what he said. And they later exchange more notes on Matt, okay? The specific things that Matt said. And both ladies, they feel dumb because he's been telling them both the same thing. And Amber tells AD that she feels horrible about everything. And she thinks that it's time for her to just bow out of this whole experience. Next, we see Clay. He goes back to the quarters and he's telling the guys that he can't believe that Matt is his competition. Clay is so full of himself. Clay is so full of himself. It's like, ooh, okay? But he says that he doesn't like being in competition with men who he doesn't even think are on his level because he sees how Matt operates in the quarters, blah, 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 blah. Now, listen, I don't even think that it's how Matt operates in the quarters. And we're going to talk about that too, because Matt is not only an a-hole to the women, but he also is an a-hole to the men in the quarters. He's so weird to me. But you can tell by the way that Clay moves and the way that he talks about his ego and relying on his looks and his swag or whatever, that once you get past that, he seems exhausting. Whatever woman that ends up with him is going to have to feed that ego, stroke that ego every single day, okay? And once he thinks that he has you, he won't do much more to impress you. It's going to be all about him. And then once he's bored or he decides that you're not giving him enough of the supply that he needs for that ego, he's on to the next. Clay is no catch. Yeah, Matt is a calculated weirdo, but so are you, Clay, just in a different way, okay? But they're two sides of the same coin as far as I'm concerned. Now we see Brittany and Kenneth. This is our first time seeing Brittany and Kenneth. They connect on so many things. They connect on their careers. She's a teacher. Kenneth is a principal. And also they bond on their faith. Also, Kenneth and Brittany, they both had to grow up pretty quickly. Kenneth's mom passed when he was 12 years old. Brittany's dad passed when she was 5 years old. Both of their moms are twins. They also both connect on the fact that they're both fairly young, but they still know exactly what they want in life. They seem to share a lot of similarities. And Brittany says that she wants to be led. She says that she wants to be submissive, and Kenneth loves that. And I hear what Brittany is saying, but I think that she's actually more of the alpha woman that she said that she is in the beginning. I think that she likes the idea of being submissive and being led because of her faith and her upbringing. But based on her cast reveal bio and other comments that she's made about being fully potential, okay, I see her as being more of a leader than she really wants to admit. I feel like she's the type to give you the impression that she wants you to lead her. But if you're not doing what you want her to do, she's gonna be like, okay, come on, let's go. That's what I get from Brittany, but we'll see how it plays out, okay? So next we see Amy and Johnny on a date, and he mistakenly blurts out that he loves her, and it's a really cute moment, and she tells him that she loves him too. So far, Amy and Johnny are definitely the least toxic couple on the cast, okay? Child, next we get into this conversation between Chelsea and Jimmy, I think Jimmy, right? Y'all gonna know who it is. But he apologizes for the way that their last conversation ended, and somehow they get into discussing looks, okay? So she says that she gets told that she looks like a certain celebrity a lot because of her dark hair and blue eyes. But she also says she doesn't see it, okay? I think that that's important to mention. She says she doesn't see it herself, and she feels like there's no other resemblance other than the dark hair and blue eyes. Jimmy gets excited. He was like, Megan Fox? You look like Megan Fox? Now, I don't think she looks like Megan Fox at all. A lot of people do not think that she looks like Megan Fox, but I think that she does make it clear enough that she only shares 2 similar physical attributes with Megan Fox, okay? But now Jimmy has Megan Fox in his head. Maybe she shouldn't have mentioned that at all, but at the same time, Jimmy, who you look like? Like, who does Jimmy look like? Please. Anyways, so next we see Jimmy, and he's preparing for his date with Jessica, and he's telling the men that he has some trepidation due to Jessica having a daughter. Did y'all see Matt in this scene? He seems like he just sits around and collects notes on people, okay? Writes it down in his little book, but he doesn't speak at all about how his own dates go. He doesn't speak about, who he's connected to. He's just very creepy to me. Anyways, back to what Jimmy is talking about with Jessica's daughter. And I don't think I thought about this until someone mentioned it in my cast review video, but they said that they don't think that single parents should come on Love is Blind. And they said that they feel like it's too short of a process to marry someone who has not met your child, okay? And I have to agree. I have to agree with that. Single parents, a single dad, single mom, whatever. This process is expedited enough alone for just 2 adults. Like, it's already a quick process. So to throw a child in there and get married to a person who hasn't even met or bonded with your kid, or you don't even know how they'd be with your kid. You don't know how this person is around children. You don't know if your child is gonna like this person. And the first time that your child is meeting this person is at the wedding. I don't like it. I don't like it. Children are just so vulnerable, and this is only a 4-week process, right? Most parents who are dating, they don't introduce people to their kids months, sometimes over a year of dating the other person. This person can't go to their home. This person can't meet their child until they know that this relationship can, go the long haul. And then what if this child bonds with Jimmy and then it doesn't work out? It's just a lot. But tell me what you think below. Do you think that parents of young children should be on Love is Blind? I didn't really think of it like that until someone commented it. Let me know what you think below. So anyway, we see Jimmy. He goes on his date with Jessica. And it's funny to me because Jessica actually looks more like Megan Fox than Chelsea does. But anyway, she says that she misses her daughter Autumn so much. They discuss having children, and then they get to discussing their upbringing. And we learn that Jessica was in foster care for her childhood because her parents were drug addicts, okay? Her dad went to jail, and unfortunately, shortly after he got out of jail, he unalived himself. And Jessica just had a very tumultuous life. Her adopted family saved her, honestly, because she said when she got pregnant, she was only 17 years old. She was still a child. So had her family not kept her, had that adopted family not kept her, she would have lost custody of her daughter. Her daughter would have been a child of the state because she was a child herself, okay? And I'm like, whoa, this woman has been through a lot. And I said that in my cast reveal video. Jessica did strike me as a person who had to grow up very quickly. She had her child very young. So she would be looking for someone who is serious, who is committed, who's also a go-getter like her, who can love her, respect her, and assist her with her daughter, okay? But Jimmy actually says that he likes her more because of these experiences. And at this point, I can't put my finger on if Jimmy is just the type of person who just knows what to say, right? Who's just polite and just says the right things and doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, or if he genuinely likes her more because of her experiences and because she has a child. Same thing with Chelsea. If he likes Chelsea more because of, everything that she has going on. I don't know at this point, and I'm sure that if y'all have seen the rest of the episodes, but at this point, I'm like, does Jimmy really feel like this, or he just doesn't want to look like an a-hole on television? I'm sure time will tell, okay? But back to their conversation. Clearly, Jessica really likes Jimmy because she's sharing so much of her personal life with him, and she just wants him to feel comfortable, okay? Next, we see Chelsea and Trevor. They're on a date. They're having a great time, and she actually says that she's a sucker for a mullet, which is hilarious because Trevor actually has a mullet. This scene was really cute. And I think that Trevor genuinely likes Chelsea, but remember, Jimmy also likes Chelsea, and Jimmy thinks that she looks like Megan Fox. So we're gonna have to see what happens, okay? Then we have the first proposal of the season. We see Amy and Johnny. They've pretty much been all about each other from the beginning. It's very much giving Lauren and Cameron, and I love that for them, okay? Next, we see AD and Matthew preparing for their date. And AD realizes that Matt will talk you into circles until you're confused about what you originally went in to speak to him about. And they show a clip of Matt in the quarters, right? I think Trevor asked him if he wanted something to eat. He's like, no. And then he's walking out and he forgot his book. Someone's like, hey, you forgot your book. And he just takes it, doesn't say thank you. And they're like, you're welcome. Like, is he okay? And when AD and Matt go on this date, I'm like, AD, sis, this better be the last conversation that you have with him. I don't like this guy. He's super calculated. Anyway, so we find out that Amber left. So when she said that she's going to bow out, she was not playing. She left, and she saw that these dudes were wasting her time, and she said, you know what? Let me reclaim my time, and she left. Boss, period. Love that for her, okay? So now we see Matt, and he's crying, and he's talking about America loving the underdog and America being on his side. What the fuck are you even talking about? This is not a football game. This is a show where you get married at the end of it. What are you talking about? America is on your side. And for the record, no, America is not on your side. America has been eating you up in the comments. Every post I've seen with you, America has been dragging your ass, okay? And what a weird thing to say. It's giving JP Jr. Where are your American flag socks and shirt and boxers? That's what it's giving, okay? Anyways, he pretty much breaks up with AD, but he puts it on her. But he's also upset about hurting Amber in front of America. And then when he goes back to the quarters, he says that he's going to get Amber back. He is so full of shit, because weren't you just telling AD that the things that you said to Amber weren't as deep as the things that you said to AD, and your connection with AD was deeper than your connection with Amber, but now you want to go back and get Amber? I hope you go back and get no one. And let me say this, I am actually happy that Matt broke up with AD, because had he went in there and continued to say the right things like he did, she would have forgiven him. She would have kept dating him. She would have accepted his proposal, okay? Yes, she would have. AD, baby, I'm gonna need you to not be afraid to walk away from someone when they show you who the hell they are. Stop painting your nails red to match the red flags and walk away. Choose yourself and walk away, okay? And I better not see AD with Clay either. Lil sis, don't make me come find you. I better not see you with Clay, okay? But listen, let me tell y'all, episodes 1 and 2 were really good, really good. There are so many people who we have not seen though. So many people we haven't seen, and I'm hoping that maybe we'll see some more of them in the next episodes, but these first 2 episodes were a lot. Tell me all of your thoughts about everyone, about everything so far. Remember, no spoilers. We're only discussing episodes 1 and 2. Don't get your ass blocked, okay? Period. Let me know all your thoughts below. Don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for watching till the end. Make sure that you hit that notification bell, because we will be back for episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I don't want you to miss it. I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye!